If I asked you what are your priorities for the next 5 years, what would you say?
So my first priority will be to be very successful in my work. That is,
Okay.
I want to be a very good cinematographer.
Number two?
Number two will be, right now I'm staying away from my family.
Uh-huh.
So number two will be, I would like to stay with my family. I would
Okay,
like to
and
bring my
number three?
parents near me. Number three is, as I'm young right now,
Uh-huh.
so I want to get married.
All right.
So that is a responsibility after.
Okay. So right now you said your number one priority is your work, right?
Yeah.
But in the coming years, there's going to be a point where there's going to be some kind of conflict. Okay.
Yes.
So what's going to happen is at a point you have to get married, and you've probably not still achieved professionally what you want to. Now at that point, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose your married life, or are you going to choose your career?
This is a very complicated question, but I am clear that I would go for marriage.
Great. That's what I'm saying. You need to have things clear in your head so
Yeah.
you choose the right thing and don't regret it later on and resent other people for your choices. So these are some common signs that tell you you're not being honest with yourself. So one of my very close friends used to tell me that I want to make it really successful in my career. But every weekend on a Saturday night, he used to get pissed drunk and he used to waste the entire Sunday staying in bed, getting rid of that hangover. Now, how is he rationalizing the fact that he could go out every single weekend, get drunk, and waste the Sunday when clearly he wanted to become very successful? So, obviously, he couldn't waste that Sunday. But what he used to tell himself is it's okay to drink once in a while, it's okay to waste a Sunday. But is it if you really want to get successful? One of my friends was in a toxic, abusive relationship for the past 5 years. She kept lying to herself that things were going to get better. But obviously, they weren't going to get any better. Eventually, they did end up breaking up. But do you want to go through the same thing? So tell me one thing, have you compared yourself to anyone ever?
Yes, I have compared myself.
Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So right now you must have seen like many of youngsters are like from the 20s and like very teenagers also are shining on the Instagram.
So what goes through your mind when you see that?
Actually, we have been working so hard and we are skilled. We are like put a lot of efforts in our education.
Correct.
But there are many people out there
Okay.
who have done nothing. Just they come up on social media and act some rubbish things.
Okay.
And they are gaining a lot of fame, lot of money, and that gives us a bit of jealousy.
Okay,
and
but
disturbance.
if I ask you, what makes you think that is rubbish and what you're doing is perfect?
Because we can see like people giving hate comments there, and even we don't like the content. Something is very vulgar.
Okay.
Yeah, so the content becomes itself very bad.
Okay.
But that only gives them fame.
Okay, but if I ask you one more question, how do you think this helps you comparing yourself to someone who's getting a lot of hate comments but is very famous? How does that help you?
Yeah, that is not helping me in any way.
So that's the point I'm trying to make. That
Yeah.
no matter who you compare yourself to, do you really get anything at the end of the day?
No.
So all of you might be saying that it's really easy to point out dishonesty in someone else. But why is it so difficult for us to follow? One of the biggest reasons why being honest with yourself is so difficult is because you can't face your own flaws. You can't accept the fact that, oh, I'm full of shit. Oh, I'm not really hardworking. Oh, I might have these ambitions of achieving some really big goals, but I'm not putting in the hard work. And facing that is very difficult. So this is what I've personally experienced. I grew up in a family where eating non-veg was perfectly normal. In fact, I grew up believing that if I didn't eat non-veg, I was somehow going to be unhealthy. But cut to past 5 years, I've completely given up non-veg. I've been only on a pure vegan diet. So if I was really honest with myself over the past few years, I would have never eaten non-veg. But because of societal and family pressure, what happened? I started believing something else. So that's how society and family can influence you being honest with yourself. I know it sounds really difficult, but if you do manage to be honest with yourself, these are the benefits. If you're honest with yourself, you're going to be self-aware. Because you're self-aware, you're going to set realistic goals. And because of those realistic goals, you're not going to get disappointed when you don't really achieve something because you know you couldn't achieve it in the first place. With honesty comes better clarity and decision making. Remember I asked you if you had to choose between your marriage and your career. You were very clear. You said, I would choose my marriage. But what if you didn't have that clarity? What do you think would happen?
Maybe by that time I would have blamed my partner for that.
If you actually wanted to change your career,
Exactly.
but you chose your marriage,
Yes.
and she's constantly after you to spend more time, you're going to end up having fights. And what's going to happen?
Definitely.
Because of that, you're not going to achieve your professional growth. And because of those fights and the fact that you resent her for not letting you chase your dreams, that particular relationship is also going to. With greater self-honesty also comes better personal growth over the coming years. And I'll tell you how. Tell me one thing. What's your number one goal today?
Being the best cinematographer in India.
Okay. Can you do it in the next 6 months?
No, definitely.
Okay. So you're aware that you can't do it in the next 6 months.
Yes.
Now, do you know what you need to do to one day become the best?
Yes, I know.
So today, you can start taking steps to achieve that one day.
Yeah.
But if you already believe that you're there and you're not being honest with yourself, what's going to happen?
I would resent myself. I would shout on me every day.
And you probably blame the rest of the world for your failings and not accept the fact that I'm not good enough today.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I can't put in the effort and be good enough someday. So in conclusion, whether it's your family, whether it's your work, whether it's your relationships, you're going to make a lot of progress if you start being honest with yourself.